Hey there, scientists. Caroline here. I've got a quick question for you. Do you think air quality is typically better indoors or outdoors? If you're like most people, your gut reaction might be indoors, right? I mean, it's often temperature controlled, protected from traffic, weather, pollen, seems like the safer bet. However, indoor air pollution levels are usually 2 to 5 times higher than outdoor pollution levels. Surprised? I definitely was when I first learned that. So what kinds of pollutants are floating around in our homes, stores, restaurants, and other buildings? And more importantly, what can we do about it? Ready, scientists? Let's get started. Let's start by defining indoor air pollution. Simply put, indoor air pollution is when harmful substances lower the air quality inside buildings, whether it's a house, a store, or even a car. Now think for a second. What are some common things in your home that might pollute the air? Pause and record your thoughts in your guided notes. One of the first things I think of is dust. We've all seen it. On bookshelves, under the bed, on the ceiling fan you haven't touched in months. Guilty. But what is dust, anyway? Dust is a mix of dead skin cells, dust mites, pet dander, fabric fibers, and other tiny particles. On surfaces, it's annoying. But when it gets stirred up, say by walking across a carpet or turning on a fan, it becomes airborne, and that's when it can pollute the air we breathe. Dust is a form of particulate matter, since it's made up of tiny solid particles that float in the air. Another source of particulate matter? Smoke, from things like candles, cooking, or fireplaces. But particles aren't the only problem. Remember VOCs from a previous lesson? VOCs are short for volatile organic compounds, which easily become vapors or gases and mix with the air. Common indoor sources of VOCs include cleaning products, air fresheners, paints and glues, and even cosmetic products like hairspray or scented lotion. These VOCs can make your indoor air feel stuffy or give you a headache, and long-term exposure can be even more harmful. And then there are the hidden hazards. These are the pollutants you can't see or sometimes even smell, but they're still dangerous. Some major ones to know are mold, which grows in damp areas and can trigger allergies or asthma; carbon monoxide, a colorless, odorless gas from things like gas stoves or heaters; lead, often found in old paints from homes built before 1978; and asbestos, a fiber once used in insulation and ceiling tiles, common in buildings built before the 1980s. So why does all this matter? Well, the average person in the US typically spends about 90% of their time indoors. So the air we breathe inside, at home, in stores, even in the car, plays a huge role in our health. Breathing indoor pollutants like VOCs, mold spores, or particulate matter can trigger things like asthma, allergies, fatigue, or even more serious conditions over time. This is why it's so important to learn about and monitor possible sources of indoor air pollution. We can't protect ourselves from what we don't know. Take lead paint, for instance. Before the 1970s, lead was commonly used in household paints because it made colors brighter, helped paint dry faster, and made it more durable. But then people started getting sick, and scientists discovered that exposure to lead could cause serious health concerns, especially in young children. In 1978, the US government took action by banning the use of lead-based paint in residential homes and public buildings. This law was a huge step toward protecting families, especially children, from the harmful effects of lead. It didn't just ban the sale of lead-based paints for homes. It also required landlords, contractors, and property sellers to tell people about known lead paint hazards in older buildings. Today, homes built before 1978 are required to be inspected if lead-based paint is found, especially during renovations. This law not only reduced exposure to a harmful indoor air pollutant, but also raised awareness, showing how scientific evidence can drive public health protections. But not every one of us is a lawmaker, so what can individuals do to improve indoor air quality in our own homes? Scientists, what do you think are some good strategies for improving air quality indoors? Pause the video and write your thoughts in your guided notes. For me, one of the first things that comes to mind is ventilation. Ventilation is all about keeping the air moving. Air quality inside is typically worse because pollutants become trapped in one place. Opening a window helps push out pollutants and bring in clean air. Even just 15 minutes a day can make a difference. Live somewhere cold or hot most of the year? No worries. Just cracking a window during mild weather or using a HEPA filter air purifier indoors can help too. Another way to improve ventilation is to use exhaust fans in the kitchen when you cook and in the bathroom after a shower. This helps remove moisture and fumes. Finally, it's important to make sure air vents aren't blocked by furniture or piles of clothes. This can trap pollutants instead of letting the air circulate. Our next tip is to choose cleaner products. Many cleaning supplies, air fresheners, and even art materials release VOCs. But the good news is, you have options. For example, with cleaning products, you can choose natural or fragrance-free options. Some brands even advertise non-toxic or low VOC right on the label. You can also swap aerosol sprays like air fresheners, hairspray, or spray cleaners for pump bottles or solid alternatives. Instead of using a chemical air freshener, try a bowl of baking soda, essential oils, or just open a window. If you're painting a room or working on a project, look for low VOC or zero VOC labels on paints and adhesives. Making these swaps reduces the chemicals released into your air and keeps your lungs a lot happier. Our last tip? Simply to prevent as much indoor air pollution as possible. Keeping the bad stuff out before it starts is way easier than cleaning it up later. This could mean vacuuming and dusting regularly to prevent dust from building up, or preventing smoke indoors, such as by cooking or grilling outside. This could also mean fixing water leaks right away to prevent mold from growing in walls, ceilings, or carpets. Carbon monoxide sensors can help as well by identifying potential gas leaks, preventing this harmful gas from building up in your home. Finally, you can take your shoes off at the door. It sounds simple, but shoes can track in pesticides, lead dust, and even oil and gas residue from parking lots. By taking small steps to improve indoor air quality today, we can make a big difference over time. And with that, we've wrapped up our lesson on indoor air pollution. Indoor air pollution can come from a variety of sources, such as dust, smoke, and commercial products. Being aware of what's in the air around you is the first step. The next step? Taking action. Scientists, I want you to think about possible pollutants in your own home. What is a way to reduce one of them and improve air quality? Pause and record your thoughts in your guided notes. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go and open a window, or two. Remember, scientists, the air we breathe is a resource we all share. Every choice we make can help keep it clean, so don't underestimate the impact you can have. Stay observant, keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time. Hey, hey.